Signup series number 6 has returned. And here are the new lineups. It is kind of out of order, but it will remain like this. And if you're new, here's the ramp. Pretty much if you watch Signup series, you know that the trucks go here, roll down, and we're going to the door of whoever goes farthest will win. New debuting trucks like this: Street Justice Joker and Harley Quinn. It was when I kicked things off with Stone Crusher taking on Bakugan Dragonoid Galaxy. So Signup series number 6 is underway. Now we'll give it to Stone Crusher. Next up we have is the Bakugan Dragonoid Alertus Dragonoid taking on the Hyperfield Gravedigger. Now we'll go to the Bakugan Dragonoid. Next up we have is the Street Justice Joker taking on Yeti Ice. Then we'll go to the Street Justice Joker. Next up we have is the Nitro Leon's Octonator taking on the True Heavy Metal Son of a Digger. And then we'll go to the Nitro Leon's Octonator. Next up we have is the 32 Queen Megadon taking on the 4th of July Freebird. And we'll go to the 32 Queen Megadon, and both go on wheelies. Next up we have is the Gravedigger Grind taking on the Burn Victim Zombie. And they'll beat the Burn Victim Zombie. Next up we have is the Reveal Steel Whiplash taking on Zombie Fire. And then we'll go to the Reveal Steel Whiplash. Next up we have is Scooby-Doo taking on the Gravedigger Ride Truck. And they'll beat... I think it's gonna go to Gravedigger Right Truck, but let me go check. Just barely, it was the Gravedigger Right Truck. And next up we have is Soldier Fortune taking on Lumberjack. And let's go to Lumberjack. Next up we have is Aftershock taking on Tropical Thunder. And let's go to I'm not sure about that, but let me go check. Made some close measurements, and it turns out being that Aftershock did it win for the winner. Just barely. And now we're gonna start with Monster Mount Rottweiler Zombie taking on Max D Black. And it's gonna go to Max D Black. Next up we have is Monster Mount Rottweiler taking on Soldier Fortune Desert. And it's gonna go to the Soldier Fortune Desert. Next up we have is Racing Stripes taking on Dragon Ice. And it's gonna go to Dragon Ice. Next up we have is Monster Mutt Dalmatian taking on Whiplash. And it's gonna go to... I don't know who, but if I go like this, on the right corner, I think it's gonna go to Monster Mutt, but let me go check. Whiplash won that one, and now we're gonna start with the Monster Jam Stunt Truck taking on Gravedigger Chrome. And it's gonna go to the Gravedigger Chrome. Next up we have a Sparkle Smash taking on El Toro Loco. And I was a little bit upset, but Sparkle Smash will take that win. Next up we have is Harley Quinn taking on Santa's Monster Sleigh. And it's gonna go to Santa's Monster Sleigh. Next up we have Max D Overcast taking on the Double Pack Bulldozer. And let's double back because this one does not have flotation printed on it. And if I take this one right here, you can clearly see that it says flotation on it. So either way, here it goes. And it's gonna go to Bulldozer. Next up we have is the Darkest Meal Dragonoid taking on Dragon Fire. And it's gonna go to the Darkest Meal Dragonoid. Next up we have is Storm Damage taking on the Gravedigger Green Ghost Fire. And it's gonna go to the Gravedigger Green Ghost Fire. Don't mind the music in the background, but here we have Max D taking on Soldier Fortune Ice. And it's gonna go to Max D. Next up we have is Team Ents taking on Higher Education. And it's gonna go to Team Ents. Next up we have is Megadon Fire taking on the Great Clips Mohawk Warrior Vampire. And it's gonna go to the Mohawk Warrior Vampire. Next up we have is Storm Damage taking on Joker. This is the Storm Damage from the 2019 version. So here we go. And it's gonna go to the 2019 Storm Damage. Next up we have is Racing Stripes taking on Monster Mode. This is the Racing Stripes from the double pack. So here we go. And it's gonna go. Oh, Monster Mode goes over Racing Stripes, and that will cost him the win. Next up we have is the Max Contrast Dragon taking on the Max D 10th anniversary. And then we'll go to the Max Contrast Dragon. Next up we have is the Transforming Hauler El Toro logo taking on Double Decker. And I'll go to Double Decker. Next up we have is the Megadon Galaxy taking on the Orange El Toro logo. And I'll go to Megadon Galaxy. Here we have the ice battle between Gravedigger Ice and Earthshaker Ice. So here we go. And it's gonna go to Earthshaker Ice. Next up we have is the Ice El Toro logo taking on Max D Red. And the Ice El Toro logo will take the win. Next up we have is Monster Energy taking on Calavera. And then we'll go to Calavera makes an insane block for Monster Energy. And that will cost Calavera the win. Next up we have is the Son of a Dagger taking on the Max Contrast Megadon. And then we'll go to Son of a Dagger. Next up we have is the Bakugan Dragonoid from 2019 taking on Wildfire Phoenix Fire. And I'll go to 2019 Dragonoid. Next up we have is Blue Thunder Ice taking on Bakugan Dragonoid. And it'll be, I think I'll go to Dragonoid, but let me go check. Next up we have is Blue Thunder taking on the Broken Tire Bakugan Dragonoid. And it will be Broken Tire Bakugan Dragonoid. Next up we have is OCD Meltdown taking on Wolf's Head. And it will be Wolf's Head. Next up we have is the Mystery Machine taking on Monster Mode Dalmatian Zombie. And it will be, I think it'll go to Dalmatian Zombie, but let me check. Just barely it'll go to Monster Mode Dalmatian Zombie. So next up we have is the Gravedigger Shear Magnus taking on Bounty Hunter. I guess I'll go to Bounty Hunter, but if I go like this, go down, I don't know. I have to disconnect that. And if from this angle, I have no idea, it might be a rerun. I'll go from over here. And I'll go to Bounty Hunter. What a run. Next up we have is Superman taking on the singles pack Soldier Fortune Ice. And I'll go to Superman. Next up we have is Max D Fire taking on Hurricane Force. And I'll go to Hurricane Force. Next up we have is Soldier Fortune Black Ops taking on the Holiday Stunt Truck. And I'll go to, I'm not sure about that one again, but if I go right here and make my best angle, sorry if it moves, I'm holding the camera with a left hand. It's gonna go to Soldier Fortune Black Ops. It actually turns out that the Holiday Stunt Truck actually won, and I do not want to make the same mistake where Sign Up Series number 5 Sparkle Smash won and they gave it to the Gravedigger Right Truck by accident. So anyways, here we have the Boneyard Gravedigger taking on Monster Mode Dalmatian Ice. And I'll go to the Boneyard Gravedigger. Next up we have is the Purple Tire Gravedigger taking on Texas. And it's gonna go to the Purple Tire Gravedigger. Next up we have is Son of a Digger Fire taking on the Showtime Earthshaker. And I'll go to the Showtime Earthshaker. Next up we have is Gravedigger the Legend taking on Megadon. And I'll go to Gravedigger the Legend. Next up we have is the Monster Dirt Earthshaker taking on Iron Outlaw. And I'll go to the Monster Dirt Earthshaker. Next up we have is the Shear Magnus Megadon taking on Gravedigger Fire. And I'll go to the Shear Magnus Megadon. Next up we have is the Gravedigger Red Primer taking on Bulldozer. And I'll go to Bulldozer. Next up we have is El Toro Loco Yellow taking on Wildflower. And I'll go to Wildflower. Next up we have is the Black El Toro Loco taking on the Great Clips Mohawk Warrior Fire. And I'll go to the Great Clips Mohawk Warrior Fire. Next up we have is Saigon Shaker taking on Blue Thunder Zombie. And I'll go to Blue Thunder Zombie. Next up we have is Monstruma Poodle taking on Gravedigger. And it will go to Gravedigger. Next up we have is Scarlet Bandit taking on Horsepower. And I'll go to Horsepower. Next up we have is Zombie taking on Maximum Destruction. And I'll go to Maximum Destruction. Next up we have is the Max D Yellow taking on Bulldozer. And Bulldozer will take the win. The final round for round 1, then we're gonna have a fast loser for Max D Hunter. So here we go. And I'll go to Max D Gear. Alright guys, so here I have round 2 and we need a fast loser for Max D Hunter. Here are the fast losers. Tropical Thunder was 1 centimeter away from beating Aftershock, but sadly he didn't, but that was a close one. Soldier Fortune Black Ops, however, he tied with the Holiday Stunt Truck. And there we go. Here it goes. Who's gonna take on Max D Hunter? And I'll go to Soldier Fortune Black Ops. Now here we go. Round 2. And we're gonna kick things off with Soldier Fortune. Stone Crusher taking on the Alertus Dragonoid. Next up we have is Stone Crusher taking on the Alertus Dragonoid. And it's gonna go to Stone Crusher. Next up we have is the Street Justice Joker taking on the Nitro Leon's Octonator. And go to the Street Justice Joker. Next up we have is the 32 Queen Megadon taking on Zombie, Burn Victim Zombie. And we'll go to the... I don't know, I will have to make calculations on that, so I'll be right back. Alright guys, so the 32 Queen Megadon has won. So here we go. The reveal is still Whiplash taking on Gravedigger Ride Truck. It'll go to the Gravedigger Ride Truck. Next up we have is Lumberjack taking on Aftershock. And it's gonna go to Lumberjack. Next up we have is the Black Max D taking on Soldier Fortune Desert. And it's gonna go to Soldier Fortune Desert. Next up we have is Dragon Ice taking on Whiplash. And it's gonna go to Whiplash. Next up we have is Gravedigger Chrome taking on Sparkle Smash. And it's gonna go to Sparkle Smash. Next up we have is Santa's Monster Sleigh taking on Bulldozer from the 2-pack. And it'll be Bulldozer. Next up we have is the Darkest Meal Dragonoid taking on Gravedigger Green Ghost Fire. And it'll be the Bakugan Dragonoid Darkest Meal. Next up we have is Max D taking on T-Ments. And it's gonna go to T-Ments. Next up we have is the Great Clips Mohawk Warrior Vampire taking on the 2019 Storm Damage. And I'll go to... I think it's gonna go Storm Damage, but let me check. Next up we have is Monster Mutt taking on Dragon Max Contrast. Dragon Max Contrast rolls over, but it's gonna give it to Monster Mutt. Next up we have is Double Decker taking on Megadon Max Contrast. And it's gonna go to Double Decker. Next up we have is Earthshaker Ice taking on El Toro Loco Ice. Battle of the Ice Trucks. I believe it's gonna go to Earthshaker, but let me check. Next up we have is Calavera taking on Son of a Digger. And it's gonna go to Son of a Digger. Next up we have is the Battle of the Dragonoids between the 2019 Dragonoid and the 2021 Dragonoid. So ready? Here we go. And it's gonna go to the 2021 Dragonoid. Next up we have is the Broken Tire Dragonoid taking out Wolf's Head. And it's gonna go to Wolf's Head. Next up we have is Monster Mutt Dalmatian Zombie taking out Bounty Hunter. And it's gonna go to, I think it's gonna go to Bounty Hunter, but let me check. Next up we have is Superman taking on Hurricane Force. And it's gonna go to Hurricane Force. Next up we have is the Holiday Stunt Truck taking on the Boneyard Gravedigger. And it's gonna go to the Boneyard Gravedigger. Next up we have is the Purple Tire Gravedigger taking on Earthshaker Showtime. And it's gonna go to the Purple Tire Gravedigger. Next up we have is the Gravedigger the Legend taking on Earthshaker from the Monster Dirt. And it's gonna go to the Monster Dirt Earthshaker. Next up we have is the Shear Magnus Megadon taking on the Collection Night Pack Bulldozer. And it will go to Bulldozer. Next up we have is Wildflower taking on the Great Clips Mohawk Warrior Fire. And it'll go to Wildflower. Next up we have is Blue Thunder Ice taking on Gravedigger. And it'll go to Gravedigger. Next up we have is Horsepower taking on Maximum Destruction. And Maximum Destruction will take the win. Next up we have is Bulldozer taking on Max D Gear. And it'll go to, I think it's gonna go to Max D Gear, but let me check. Final race of round 2. We have Max D Hunter taking on Soldier Fortune Black Ops. And it's gonna go to the Soldier Fortune Black Ops. Next up we have round 3 here. But we need a fast loser for Soldier Fortune Black Ops. And here are the fast losers. I feel that these guys did pretty good, so let's see who's gonna take on Soldier Fortune Black Ops. And it's gonna go to the Holiday Stunt Truck. Now here we have the full round of round 3. And we're gonna kick things off with Stone Crusher and the Street Justice Joker. Next up we have is Stone Crusher taking on the Street Justice Joker. And then we'll go to, I'm pretty sure it's Stone Crusher, but let me check. Stone Crusher won that one, so now it's gonna be 32 Queen Megadon taking on the Gravedigger Ride Truck. And it's gonna go to the Gravedigger Ride Truck. Next up we have is Lumberjack taking on Soldier Fortune Desert. And it's gonna go, I believe it's Lumberjack, but let me check. Next up we have is Whiplash taking on Sparkle Smash. And it's gonna go to Sparkle Smash. Next up we have is Bulldozer taking on Darkest Meal Dragonoid. And this is the Bulldozer. But whoever chose Bulldozer is in this Bulldozer, alright? So here we go. And I think it's gonna go Darkest Meal Dragonoid. Yeah, I think it's gonna go to him. But let me just check. Darkest Meal Dragonoid one, so here we have T-Ments taking on 2019 Storm Damage. I think it's gonna go T-Ments, but let me check. Next up we have is Monster Mutt taking on Double Decker. And then we'll go to Double Decker. Next up we have is Earthshaker Ice taking on Son of a Digger. And it's gonna go to Son of a Digger. Next up we have is Bakugan Dragonoid taking on Wolf's Head. And it's gonna go to Wolf's Head. Next up we have is the Bounty Hunter taking on Hurricane Force. And it's gonna go to Hurricane Force. Next up we have is the Gravedigger Battle between the Boneyard Gravedigger and the Purple Tire Gravedigger. But the winner will go to the Purple Tire Gravedigger. Next up is Bulldozer taking on the Muddy Earthshaker. And then we'll go to the Muddy Earthshaker. Next up we have is Wildflower taking on Gravedigger. And it's gonna go to Wildflower. Next up we have is Maximum Destruction taking on Max D Gear. And it's gonna go to Max D Gear. Next up we have is Soldier Fortune Black Ops taking on the Holiday Stunt Chuck. But it will go to Soldier Fortune Black Ops.